What did you think of the effort? I mean, you got 3 block shots in the last minute of the game in an exhibition game to win on.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Paul, because that's what stood out to me was the fight to win a game, which is good. You know, I'm not putting a lot of pressure standing behind the bench screaming and yelling, and it's up to these guys to push right now, as I've said through camp, to feel better the next day. You're not going to feel good the first day and push through it. And we had a lot of guys that I know didn't feel good, obviously didn't feel like themselves. There's no rhythm at this point, but what we wanted to see was them push. And the third was real nice to see that fight and push by our guys.
What did you think about Weissbach with Thompson and Skinner and that group?
I thought Weissbach looked very comfortable with Thompson and Skinner and created a lot. Showed skill, showed vision, and there was some chemistry there between the three of them. So that was a real bonus plus for Linus. He played a really solid game.
What did you learn about Brandon Byro last year? He kind of flew under the radar, but he really established himself as a prospect. What did you learn about him that he's maybe carried to the campus?
Yeah, he persistent, smart, enough skill. I mean, there's enough skill there. He works well with people around him. He has great, really, really good vision around the ice. And a couple of goals were very nice goals. I mean, obviously nice shots. And I was comfortable with him with Tuck. I felt that Tuck did a really nice job with him, with 2 younger guys. I talked to Alex about that earlier in camp, that take some guys under your wing and push guys along. And I thought Tuck was great with the 2 of them tonight, and I thought that line played well.
When I watch Rusick play, he just doesn't look like a young player. He looks like a guy that plays both ends of the ice. He can be nifty when he wants to. I can see him playing some games with you guys, if you get in an injury situation. Do you look at him as he almost plays above his years?
He does. He's a very he's very intelligent as a player in many respects, but situational awareness. He's efficient and he's effective. So if you need to block a shot, he reads it. If you need a good stick, a good angle, he reads it. If a guy's open after he steals a puck. So he's got a knack and a feel for the game, combined with a competitiveness that just keep him in it. And he makes the job easier for other guys, for line mates, doing he's got a lot of detail in his game, I guess, is probably what I could have said and said nothing more. There's a lot of detail in his game.
Coach. Mistakes happen in these games. How do you want to see guys correct those mistakes?
Compete. I think a lot of mistakes were made by us not going hard. We almost stood with the puck, and it was a surveying and and paralysis at times. And that's you just don't have the feel early on. And then when you do that and you're stuck, you're probably going to make a bad pass or put your teammate in a situation where they're going to have to fight like hell. The timing. So there was no timing. We weren't in sync. But you just got to play through it and fight through it.
Coach, what was your thoughts on the penalty kill tonight?
We wanted to see work ethic. We wanted to see effort. We didn't, as an objective, we didn't want to allow the other team to set up, and I thought we did a nice job on that. And 5-on-3 obviously was a very good kill. Our guys, I thought, showed some calm, but also closed out quick where they could.
Don, Alex Tuck just told us this group of we talk about young guys since you've been here, but really young guys, the new guys, he said they're so much stronger coming in and so much better than he was at that age. He's so impressed. What impresses you about them after seeing them in 2 preseason games?
Well, what we want to see is a resilience and fight, and I thought we had a very young group in Washington the other day, and we were trailing that entire game until overtime. I think was the only time we led it when Vinny scored. But that. We want to see that determination to end result, to winning. That's the next step for us, is trying to win more games. And with that, that's a whole attitude and a whole new demand. And, again, I like that. I like that fight and that compete for that. And the young guys have it.
Thank you, Don.
Good night, all.